Welcome to this quick introduction to Lumira visualizations. We will get you quickly up and running with simple Lumira visualizations. After setting up the database connection and extracting the set of data to be analyzed, Lumira arranges the data into measures and dimensions. Measures are variables used to sum or aggregate data, whereas dimensions are used to sort and filter data. Let us talk layout. On the left are the parameters extracted from a database, which we will use to create our charts. On the right are pre-configured chart types available in Lumira. We will explore many of them. As you change the chart type selected, the required fields below will change. Notice how these fields are already divided into measures and dimensions, which make it easy to explore and utilize the various charts with our extracted measures and dimensions. On the top of the chart, we have few buttons that will help us undo, reset, sort, add labels, amongst others. We close up this video with the compose option where we will organize and export our graphs to PDF format. In this workshop, we will only use 3 measures and 4 dimensions throughout the session. Typically, the Lumira report designer will clean up unneeded parameters. For example, simulation day and round are misplaced as measures. These parameters can't be summed or aggregated and should be in the dimension category. These are unusable for our analysis. Let us get started with the default bar chart. There are 2 ways to add parameters to a chart. First is to click on the plus sign near the field. Second is the drag and drop method. We would like to analyze our sales order quantity, so we will drag and drop the cumulative order quantity to the one measure field available. To go deep into the analysis, we will need to sort or filter the measure by adding filtering and sorting dimensions. We would like to see our order quantity per area, so we will drag and drop that dimension to the y-axis dimension field. Notice how the graph responds dynamically. We can further break down our measure by adding another dimension parameter to the color field. Let's add product dimension material description to our analysis. The graph now compares order quantity by area and product, where our product type is our color, our area parameter is our y-axis, and the order quantity on the x-axis. We can further make the graph more appealing by sorting the data using the sort button at the top. Now we can easily identify which product is selling the most orders. We can start a new graph by clicking on the plus sign at the bottom, or we can duplicate the current graph to start with the same parameters by clicking the gear button on the mini chart. I'll choose to duplicate this time to get a head start. Now we'll make a stacked column chart simply by choosing it from the drop-down menu. It uses the same parameters, however the chart illustrates better which region sales are highest. Again, we can sort the data to our preferences. Next, we'll make a line chart. Let us start a new chart from the bottom and choose the line chart. A line chart is typically used to show the progress of a parameter y over time x. For the x-axis, we will use our sales and distribution document number, which I know is chronological and is our best time mimic. Let us add it to our x-axis dimension field. We have to add a measure to populate the chart properly. We'll choose net value, which reflects revenue. We can see how the figure is crammed up, so we want a more aggregated parameter, for example month period instead of days period. That would widen our x-axis and improve its visualization. The sold to party is sales order per customer, not per product order, so it would include multiple product order. Let us replace our x-axis dimension by replacing it. The chart is more appealing this way. We can deepen our analysis of any critical point on the graph by selecting it. Let us choose the highest or lowest revenue point for further analysis. By clicking on it, we have the option to either filter or exclude we want to filter. By choosing horizontal orientation on the top left corner of the workspace, we will see what subcategory dimensions are available to sort or filter by. In this case, we can filter by product or product orders. We can add these dimensions to further analyze our data. For example, add material description dimension to the color field. And let's switch to a bar chart to see how each product's net value compares to the other. Next, we will use a pie chart. Let us start a new chart and switch back to our original vertical view. A pie chart is simple. It requires one measure and one dimension. We'll use the plus sign to fill out our fields. We'll use our revenue, net value, and sort it by product material description. We can then sort the graph using the sort button at the top to make the comparison more apparent. Let us duplicate this chart to get a head start on our next chart, the bubble chart. This chart requires two measures for the x and y axis plus one measure for the size of the bubble. We'll keep the x-axis as is and use quantity sold for the y-axis. We'll also use net value as the size parameter to get a feel of how much revenue a product is making in comparison to the other products. We'll keep dimension as is by material description. The resulting graph is a three-dimensional illustrating the chosen measures. Next is the heat map, which requires three parameters, one measure, and two dimensions. For our measure, we'll use net value. For our x-axis, we can choose material description, and for y-axis, we'll choose area. This will give us revenue per product per region comparison, where the dark color is the highest in value. Next is a tree map. Similar concept to the heat map is a tree map. Notice the required measures and dimension inputs and fill them as you see fit to your analysis. Notice that for many dimensions, you can choose multiple parameters for the same field. This will sort your data further. Here, the size of the box reflects order quantities and the color reflects revenue. We also have labels for area and material description. Finally, another classic visualization tool are tables. Tables can easily be created by filling up the required parameters. We already have a meaningful table by choosing the previous chart's parameter set. These are a few of the many chart types offered in Lumira. This is a good starting point for you to get comfortable and explore more. Finally, you can compose your work, organize your figures, and export to PDF using the Compose option. There are many pre-configured templates. We will just copy the charts we created into blank pages so we can have them exported to PDF for easy sharing. Simply, we will drag and drop created charts to the middle of the page. Add a new blank page and choose another chart. Finally, execute the export option, and that will download the chart as a PDF. Now you can easily view or share them.